say that I have really enjoyed my first 4 months in the Senate. I have a wonderful staff, and I have 3 staff members with me. Davenport is my Richmond office director, and that covers an awful lot of Central Virginia and all the way down here to the border and these communities, and Ty does a wonderful job. Heath Hyde is my executive assistant. Heath is over here. And then Lily Adams is my press secretary. Lily and Heath work out of the D.C. office, and Ty works in Richmond. So have a great team, and that's a reason for excitement. And the second thing that I'm excited about is I am very fortunate on the committees that I'm on, and I know that Congressman feels the same way about his strong committee positions. I'm on the Armed Services Committee, which is a wonderful Virginia tradition in the Senate of having a Virginian on armed services. And I'm very passionate about it for the same reason we all are, that we are passionate about our country's defense. We're passionate because it means an awful lot to Virginia. I have a son who's a lieutenant in the Marine Corps, so that's an additional parental reason. And so I'm very happy to be on armed services. The second committee I'm on is the Foreign Relations Committee. All trade, anything dealing with America's relations abroad, those matter to me tremendously. Randy talked about North Korea. We're dealing with some challenging situations, North Korea, Syria, Iran, the Afghanistan, and how will the drawdown go. So all these are in the foreign relations sphere, and I'm very excited about that last year, since the spring of 2009. And as somebody who's been a mayor and a governor, I was agitating, we got to get back to doing budgets again. The House was doing budgets every year. Some of us might have liked or not liked pieces of what they were doing, but they were doing budgets. But the Senate was not doing budgets. And so when I was put on the Budget Committee, along with others, I started to really agitate for we got to start doing budgets again. And we actually passed it. When I started my career in local government, so it's working in the city hall, working with county supervisors is something I know the challenges. I was a city councilman for 2 terms and a mayor for 2 terms in Richmond, and I've always been fortunate. I've always been happy that I started my career in local government. I'm a Democrat. I was a Democrat then, but we didn't run with party labels. We just all ran nonpartisan. That was an important way to start my political career because it taught me that the label was not what was important. It was trying to find ways to work together. And so as I hear about, just listen about the issues that matter to you and ways that I can be helpful in Washington, I'm going to kind of use a little bit of my local government, background to try to, figure out ways to strategize ways together to be helpful. Congressman Forbes, as you know, is your congressman, but had a wonderful career beginning in 1990 in the House of Delegates before he was elected to Congress in 2001. 2001, were you elected to Congress? And is somebody that I've gotten along with very well at the state level in one way, and now that I'm serving in the Senate, we have a good delegation, Democrats, Republicans, House and Senate. We work together very well. We don't agree on everything. I don't agree with my wife on everything, but I try to get along with my wife, I can assure you that. And I've always been able to get along very well with Congressman Forbes. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Senator. And let me begin by saying that we live in some very tough times. And everybody that wakes up in the morning today, unless you're on a different planet, you pick up a newspaper, you connect to the internet, turn on the TV, and there's plenty on there to depress you. We live in a 24-hour news cycle where I think people love to escalate the negatives as much as they can. It can get us depressed. It can get us down. You don't hear a lot of the good stuff. One of the good news stories that I don't think you hear enough of is that we do have relationships like this in Congress. And believe it or not, this is a rare thing that you have. Not that we would have this meeting, but Senator Kain, I think, has done a wonderful job of trying to forge those relationships from the first time that he came into office. He and I have met on defense issues, as he mentioned. He sits in the Armed Services Committee and the Senate. I chair the Sea Power Subcommittee and the Armed Services Committee in the House. And it's very important that we're working together on things that relate to Virginia, and we do very, very closely. You don't see that in a news article. You don't see that in something that comes out. In the State of the Union address this year, he and I sat together on the floor, and we actually critiqued the president when he'd say something that we didn't think was accurate. The senator would look at me and he said, "That's not right," and then I looked and said, I mean, it's not that we were judging him, it's just we're trying to find common ground of things that we can move forward on. And then when we had an opportunity to do this, we thought it was a good idea to be able to come and listen to you together.